From the talk of the devil in the heart of London, here is your host, Kenneth... Oh, it's not messing about. Thrillums! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of International Campery, the program that combines in one magical mélange the wit of Wilde, the shock of Shaw, the butch of Beardsley, and the wisdom of Wilkinson. Yes, that's right, Wilkinson. I said to the producer, I said, you'll pardon my ignorance, but who's this man Wilkinson? Now, I mean, I've heard of your other three there in your actual literature, but I've never heard of this chap Wilkinson. He said, Wilkinson's not a man, he's a woman. One of John Law's fast crowd, driving around the Greenbelt in their E-type Jags. Well, anyway, I pressed him for further information, because he'll tell you anything if you press him. And he said, actually, Florrie Wilkinson isn't all that grand, but she does give herself airs. I said, well, at times we all give ourselves airs. He said, yes, but she doesn't dye hers platinum blonde like you do. He's a disgrace. So, without more ado, I had a brisk rub down with wet flannel, as is my wont, and set off to see that John Law. He's the one that helps me write all this rubbish. I said, John, who's Florrie Wilkinson? Anyway, it turned out that she used to be Bradford's leading ballerina. Law said her entrechats were pure poetry, and she was a dab hand at the old jetés. I said, that's interesting, because I've had some good times on the jetty myself. I remember once at Yarmouth, the trawlerman wanted me to try out his fishing smack. Then Law turned quite nasty. Shut your mouth, he said. I haven't finished. I was busy extolling the many virtues of Florrie Wilkinson. I said, oh, John, I feel so small. I was abasing myself, I said, never even having heard of the woman, words fail me. He said, well, think of something. So I did, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce our star of the evening. She's a lady who's a very big sex symbol in her own country, and very difficult it is to get her to leave it alone. To leave it. Alone and unaided, the BBC has persuaded her to come across and appear on International Campery. From America, the glamorous, the fabulous Candy Carson.
Thank you so much. May I say what a great bang I get out of coming over to Britain, especially now that your wonderful country, which I love and revere, has gotten into such a god-awful mess. Deep down, I have a special affection for all you limeys, and if I can bring some of my personal magic into your sad little lives, it makes everything somehow worthwhile. Your welcome's warm, it's from the heart, it thrills me through and through. But to a star like me, it's part of something that's my due. Because I worked my way up to the top of the tree, and I'm holding fast. No little overnight ingenue, 'cause I'm built to last. Wherefore art thou, Juliet Price, out of breath by second hearts? We don't need Maria Callas, she will never play the palace. Now but my heartaches and tears on the way, I recall them still. When I started out on the old two-a-day back in vaudeville, man power in show business, but Daddy had to quit on account of his being a wino. In fact, I was born on a drunk when my pa got pie. When I was but 14, my mama, she said, kid, you're a dropout. I said, Mama, drop dead. And she did. But time's a great healer. In under a week, I was on my way to New York. A little bird who was in the know said Billy Rose was casting his show, and I visualized me to the nth degree. A fabulous star at the Stork. The Stork Drive-In Diner, 2 down from Minsky's. Fabulous star. Bump and grind, bump and grind. Paid their rent, but it wasn't refined. Went clean out of my little old mind with that bump. I ain't got over the hump of that ever-loving bump and grind. Sitting out front one winter's night, watching that draggy show, was a Yiddish guy in a Harvard tie, an impresario. He came round when the curtain fell and flashed his fountain pen. He said, "Sign here, kid," which was what I did, and I quit the Stork right then. However, the Stork hadn't quit me. A few months later, my daughter was born. Baby face, she had the cutest little baby face. As soon as I'd had her adopted, I was back in harness again. From that day on, my life took flight. My struggling times were through. And that is why I'm here tonight to sing my song to you. Because I worked my way up to the top of the tree, and I'm holding fast. No little overnight ingenue, 'cause I'm built to last. Streisand is a 10-day wonder. I come on and steal her thunder. Move over, Shirley Bassey. Make way for a classy chassis. I'm over the rainbow and coming on strong. Anyone can see that as soon as I belt out the words of my song, why, the world's in love with me. You can rave about Judy Garland, the voice of Miss Peggy Lee. But the hold on crazy, mixed up world is in love with me. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Candy Carson. And that, I'm afraid, brings us to the end of another edition of International Campery. But as this is National Sublet Your Jockstrap to an Aged Recluse Week, it does seem appropriate to quote the immortal words of Hilary Criddle, who surely spoke for us all when he said, "Remember the text, love thy neighbor. That's a thought you should act on today. So pop round next door and start loving. But be sure that our husband's away." Good night.